And welcome to the Comic Corner. My name is Damon. He is TJ, aka Fat Thor. Buddy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. I'm doing good. We got some fun issues to talk about. It is the
Great
season,
week.
and that
Great week.
is going into the comics as well. So it's a fun
Yes.
week, man. I'm excited.
A fantastic week for comics. Let's just get right into it. Here's our rundown. A very craven Christmas. Craven for the Christmas time. It's a lovely little holiday issue of Ultimate Spider-Man number 12. We will talk all about it. Decisions for Gotham. Batman. Absolute Batman. Number 3, Bruce has to make some decisions. What decisions does he come to? We'll talk about it. And what now, Grayson? What now, Dick Grayson? What'd you get yourself into? Bloodhaven is running amok. This is the 3rd issue of the new run of Nightwing. We will talk about it. But first, we cannot possibly be a comic book show without talking about the comic book movie for next year. And yes, with all due respect towards the other Marvel movies that are coming out, like Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts, and of course, Fantastic Four, there is one movie that has a lot writing on it. Arguably the most writing on it, and that is the new DC Studios Superman from James Gunn. The trailer dropped today, TJ. The trailer dropped today. I know you saw it. What did you think about this trailer?
I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I thought it was it's exactly what I wanted from like a Superman movie. I mean, we haven't seen the movie yet, but
Mm-hmm.
it's checking all the boxes for me. It's got that kind of fun vibe to it. We also kind of towards, as the music starts picking up, we start getting more dramatic stuff. And I mean, there's a huge kaiju monster. Like, it just looks like we're going to get some really cool fun stuff in this. Like, we get Lex, what Metamorpho, right, is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it just, there's so many moving pieces. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know like really what to expect. You know me, I try to like I'll watch this first teaser, but other than that, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of want to be as fresh as possible.
Yep.
So yeah, it just looks so fun. It looks dramatic. It looks like just epic. I think that's like a good word to use. Just it looks epic in every sense of the word. And I
Yes.
love dude too. David Corn Set, however you say that.
Corn sweat.
I
Just corn
Corn
sweat. You
Sweat,
got it.
baby. Oh, I'm sweating for Corn Sweat because I think he looks great in the suit. I'm really excited, and Crypto too. I mean,
Yeah, good old
I'm a
crypto right
dog
here.
lover, so yeah, it's great, man.
Man, I have been saying that I've been very excited for this. This is a very colorful movie, much more colorful than previous. And that shot right here,
Yeah, I was gonna say
this
this shot is
entire shot
crazy.
sold me, like not sold, but that's what I wanted to see in a Superman trailer. Is
hmm
Superman saving a little kid and putting his
This
whole
this I
body on the
love
line.
this too with like the
Hmm.
kid doing the flag. Oh, it's gonna be so
Yes.
good, man.
I am so excited for this movie. This trailer did exactly what I wanted to do. And I will say, this is a comic book show, so we'll talk about some comic book things. You saw it right there, and you'll see it again a little bit later. This is giving very strong all star Superman vibes with this big glowy thing in the sky. Mr. Terrific looks terrific as well, but it gives me Solaris. And as you see Superman going up to the sun, too, that shot, like this whole thing is giving me Solaris. And that is very, 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 very All Star Superman. So I'm a little bit worried for the fate of Superman here. I'm a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie, because the whole point of All Star Superman is that he kind of dies in the end.
I say, is that the one where he gets like cancer or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I I don't know, man. I feel
Could
like
you imagine they kill him? There's no way,
no, they made
even
that mistake
temporarily, maybe.
already. They already made that mistake in Batman versus Superman. I
Hmm.
don't think that they're gonna double down on that. You said it perfectly. Plenty people have said this to me. I am looking at this, and a lot of people are, is like the first real step into this new DC universe. And
Mhm.
I can't imagine you killing off your which I mean, again, we've seen it happen, but I don't think that would be the right move, in my opinion. But I also trust
I don't
Gunn.
disagree.
I trust Gunn, so if that is what happens, I'm willing to like give his vision of it a chance, right? I won't write it off
Mhm.
immediately, but I don't think that would be the right move at all.
Yeah, this is the tone shift that I wanted, especially coming off of like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad and Creature Commandos. All three of those have a very similar tone. This is the tone shift that this movie absolutely needed, because although I do like all three of those previous projects, you cannot have a Superman movie and have that type of tone going on with it, right? And that's not what this is giving, so that is very good. And yeah, we're going to see some more crypto going forward, because we know Supergirl Woman Tomorrow is coming out, and crypto plays a part in that, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto definitely plays a part in that.
I love
So,
it.
so I'm excited for this movie. It's going to be hopefully, very, very good. Fingers crossed, because we have been duped with trailers before. We have been duped with trailers within DC before, but this is a new era. Hopefully, a new start. But I enjoy this trailer. If you want more of my thoughts on it, we also did a complete breakdown of this trailer on yesterday's live reaction episode of Creature Commandos episode 4. So go check out that episode, because we had myself, TJ, and JJ all lining up to give our full thoughts on that trailer. Superman, look
Can I
up.
give
He's
one
coming. Yeah,
criticism? The
sure.
one criticism I have, I do wish that they would have went with a big dog for crypto. Don't I
I'm
love the
fine with a
crypto we got.
mutt.
I love them too. I love the mutt too. But I as a big dog owner myself, I wish that we got the big boy representation in the canine world as well. So if I had any criticism, that would be it. But I still love our super good boy.
Crypto, he's coming. He's coming. Maybe Streaky coming too. I'd love to get Streaky, the super cat. Love that. All right, let's talk about some comics. That's what we're here to do. Let's talk about some comic books. The books themselves are books of the week. Let's start off with my pick of the week, my favorite issue of the week, my favorite book of the year. Not to forget, this was my top pick for comic of the year. And this is Ultimate Spider-Man number 12. Whew, written by Jonathan Hickman, art from Marco Cicchetto, colorist Matt Wilson, letterer Corey Pettit. This is what a way to end the first year of Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a very personal issue. You have a big family Christmas party with Ben and J. Jonah Jameson coming over to the Parker's house. And who's also at the Parker's house? Mary Jane's sister and her mom and her aunt. And it's all very awkward tension between the Watsons. Very awkward tension, because Mary Jane's sister has never approved of the way of the lifestyle that Mary Jane has, settling with Peter. She thought of Peter as just like this boring, a boring family, and it turns out, Mary Jane's sister, you know, a little jealous towards the end. In reality, I don't want to go too deep into spoilers just yet, but give me your spoiler 3 thoughts about this issue before we go into the final parts of this issue.
I loved it, honestly. I told, like you said, it's definitely a more just kind of personal story. I mean, we don't get any action. At
Mhm.
least from what I remember in this issue, but I think that's perfect. Like it feels like an ending of a chapter, right?
Mm, it
Like
does.
while we put away this first era, or again, first chapter of Ultimate Spider-Man, and we look forward to this next year. To me, this was like a great way to just kind of not wrap everything up, because we obviously still have a lot of story threads going on, but
Mhm.
just to I'd like kind of sit with everything we've had, I mean, before we start getting into all the new stuff. So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, we're getting into spoilers now. So if you want to go into this spoiler free before picking this up, I would skip to the next book right now because there are some. I am so glad I went into this book and didn't know anything. Honestly, I don't know if you did as well, if you kind of kept yourself
Mm-mm.
spoiler free because it's, the book seemingly ends as a nice little the Watson sisters make up. Ben and J. Jonah Jameson are, little buddy buddy. I don't know, maybe there's something a little there too, but we're not fully diving deep into that. But
I'm
maybe
telling you.
loosely set out. But J. Jonah Jameson hilarious in this, and there's some great moments between all the kids and the other Watson family members. But then all of a sudden, throughout the issue, May's been getting a phone call from Gwen Stacy and keeps putting it on hold as per the request of her mother. And then finally, she's like, "Mom, this girl won't stop calling. Please answer this." And Gwen's freaking out because Harry's been missing. And she's like, "That's weird." She looks at Peter and she says, "Peter, do you know where Harry is?" And all of a sudden, Peter's eyes go black. And almost like a symbiotic or a Mysterio type of effect starts to kick in because the last few weeks they have been captured already by Craven the Hunter. Big reveal towards the end of this.
Dum dum
I
dum.
know that caught me so off guard, and it really sets things forward to a high flying, you know, new year 2 of Ultimate Spider-Man. What'd you think about that big reveal?
I absolutely, like I said, this is like the end of a chapter, and then you get
Mhm.
the end credit scene, right? It was
Yes.
great, and like, I, it's got to be Venom, right, or a symbiote, I guess, right? Or do you
It
think
could be a Mysterio
I was
effect,
saying
honestly.
Mysterio or maybe Chameleon? Have we seen Chameleon yet?
I don't think so.
I was thinking maybe Chameleon. I mean, they're
But
definitely
it was
leading
giving
you.
symbiotic
I,
type of
that's what I'm
things.
thinking. They're like leading us towards the symbiote route, so I think it would be cool to like kind of just be like, "Oh, just kidding, not yet."
Either
You're right.
yeah, either that or someone else had the suit on the whole time and they were,
Mm,
blending themselves in because a suit can kind of do anything. It is a symbiotic type of suit that we have seen. But golly, what an issue, what a reveal, what a comic book.
so good.
Stands firm through this 12th issue that this was my favorite comic book of this year. And if you looked at me in 2023, early on before this Ultimate Universe was announced, and said, "Hey, Damon, a Spider-Man book will be your favorite in 2024," I would have laughed straight in your face. But gosh darn it,
Look
the
who's
Jonathan
laughing
Hickman
now.
and Marco Cicchetto prove themselves, and it's great. The whole Ultimate Universe so far, I've absolutely loved, and shout out to Hickman on this one. Dig this series. Cannot wait for more. We often at the end of our end of years, and next week we'll go into it. What book are you most looking forward to in 2025? I don't know. I may just say Ultimate Spider-Man again.
I mean, you
All
wouldn't
right.
be wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be wrong. All right. You haven't been able to read this one yet, but I'll give you the little bit of the
Unfortunately.
lowdown on it without going into too many spoilers. But this is Absolute Batman #3, Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, colorist Frank Martin, and letter Clayton Cowles. Another solid issue. This is really digging deep already. Like, we are flying through deep into this story that Scott Snyder has been putting forward, very deep into it. And I'm starting to now see a little bit of the differences between like kind of like what the Ultimate Universe has been kind of like set up and how they're telling these alternate reality stories, and then how this Absolute Universe is setting itself up to tell their little alternate reality stories. Both of them rely a little bit on like the little subtle nods and touches of like, hey, we're calling this Arkham, haha, because there's an arc A and an arc B, and this is arc M, and you're like, haha, very funny. But it plays part of
That
a
is that
larger,
is clever.
right, larger into the grander storytelling. This may be, I mean, look, I'm 3 issues in, and I told you, like, yeah, this may not be, like, this is not my favorite of the 3 issues so far. I could, just because that first issue completely blew me away, and it was supposed to be very grounded. We're just diving very deep into this story right now. So it feels like, I'm on a roller coaster and I'm just like on for a ride at least. Without going into
Mhm.
spoilers, I'll say that there are some very cool moments in here that I really enjoyed. More the personal moments. There is a side thing going on that's like a little flashback with a very young Bruce and a very young Catwoman, kind of having like going back and forth on it. That didn't land for me as much as like the rest of the issue did, but I still am enjoying this. Like, it's cool.
Hmm.
I really like this Bruce. And by the end of it, as I teased, yes, Bruce has to make a huge decision. And as of right now, as of right now, I have not read the next issue yet. So I'm going to let this play out into the next issue to see how this goes. But I don't like the decision that he made. If they're going to continue with what he agreed to, because I think it takes away from everything that they've built up. But like I said, I it was a cliffhanger type of answer.
Hmm.
Things can kind of turn left and do a catch 22. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like that's like kind of what you would expect from a third issue. I feel like, you know, first issue hooks you.
Yeah.
Second issue, you like kind of hit the ground running. Third issue, I feel like can typically be a little, I don't want to say slower, but we're finding our groove, right? So I've all the things you said, like even the criticism, I feel like I expected that from a third issue. But I'm just like you said, I'm just along for the ride. Like I just love the world. I love this Batman. So even if there are moments that maybe aren't as high as others, I'm like I said, I'm firmly in the ride. So we're good, baby. We're moving forward.
Yeah, my big thing, like I said, I hope the decision that he made at the end of this issue does not come into fruition and more backfires in his face. Because if it does come to fruition, then it's like, okay, we're back at this point, which is fine. But I am still absolutely digging the art here from Nick Dragotta. Like, the Batman scenes are just so cool. There's some amazing action sequences in this, especially right from the beginning. So I think you'll really dig it for that. All right, from one DC book to another, I did not change the writer, artist, or colorist on this, so apologies there. This is Dan Waters, Dexter Soys, Nightwing, issue 121. Man, I love this new run. I love this new run. It is I don't want to say fresh, but it is the turn that I feel like the book, I don't want to say again needed, but it deserves and earned this turn. This feels very 90s Nightwing. Um this feels very Sealy Nightwing. It's actiony, a little gritty, a lot of quips, but we're starting to it doesn't feel like we are deleting everything that came from Tom Taylor's run. It truly feels, and I have to credit Dan Waters on this, that we are continuing it and really seeing some of the consequences to what we thought was Dick Grayson doing good throughout Bloodhaven. But, sometimes when you think you're doing good, it still doesn't help everyone as much as you want it to. So when you get to that point and you still want to do good, but you may have to make some hard decisions here, what do you do? So you haven't been reading this, and that's fine. So I'll go into spoilers from here on out. Essentially, there is this new organization who's coming in almost like a police military unit to clean up the crime on the streets because after Blockbuster died, you have a power vacuum situation going, and all these gangs are trying to push their way to the top. And Nightwing is investigating all this, but then he realizes that the people who are in these gangs are, kind of there because they didn't have a choice. For example, there was a soup kitchen in one part of town that these young kids were kind of taken into who are homeless and they were taking into for help. But the Pennyworth Foundation, which is Dick Grayson's entire organization, bought out that area. And the person who owned it is no longer there. So, when you're trying to do good, sometimes you still hurt people along the way. So, what does Dick Grayson do? He takes these kids in. But now he's mixing himself into the gang war itself, right? By taking in some of the kids from these gangs. Now you're affiliating yourself and starting to make enemies. And if this organization, who is very clearly trying to use the angle of the gang war to fulfill their ideology of this super police military units, and we're saying, see, Nightwing's over here protecting these gang members. He doesn't care about you. And that's the angle that we're pushing here. It's a puppet master type of thing. And there's someone from way back into Dick Grayson's past who's been puppeteering all of this in the end. So that's been revealed. It's a sweet book. Again, it does not feel like we are resetting anything. It feels like a great continuation, but with a bit more grit.
Love it. Love it, love it. Who do you think the man behind the curtain is?
I have no idea.
No theory, nothing. You're just whatever.
I kind of think it's somebody who's new, but they've done that before, where it's like, yes, I was actually the puppeteer in the circus.
I was just gonna say like the
right,
strong man from the circus
exactly.
or some shit.
Yeah,
the bearded lady.
Been done before. So right now, I don't know, and I think that's part of the fun of it. So yeah, guys, Nightwing. If you were cautious about after Tom Taylor's run, I really do think you'll like this because he's not redoing anything. He's not resetting anything. Him and Babs are still together. The dog is still there, perfectly alive. We're good. Everything's great. Go check it out. All right, TJ, this is Armored number 5.
Yes.
Michael Schwartz, Ismael Hernandez, colorist Farad Delgado. Tell me about this. This is the finale, is it not?
No, there's more coming. There's another issue coming. It's like a narrative finale, I'd say. Okay. So like we're kind of wrapping up our first arc in this. We got this book is so much fun. It is just so good. It's so fun. We talked about this before, but for people who may not know, a kid gets adopted by a new family. He comes across a magical suit of armor, and with that armor also comes the spirit of the knight who once wore it. So sets him off on this kind of crazy adventure with some ghosts, like ghoul. I don't even know what supernatural crap. Sorry, almost lost our monetization there. But it's really fun. And so in this issue, like I said, everything that's been kind of set up kind of comes to a head. It's a real turning point for our main character, Andy. Like, just kind of really steps in, like finally steps into like that hero role, you know? And of course, we just talked about with Ultimate Spider-Man, we leave off on a nice stinger. So in this issue, we get kind of a big clash between Andy and the kind of basically the bad version of the magical suit of armor. And then we get another thing of armor, like a gold version of the armor. I didn't like these other people are wearing the armor, and it's just it's nuts, man. It's so fun. It's like a good mix of, I don't want to say whimsical, but just kind of like, you know, comic book fun, but also like it's not afraid to take that darker turn. Like there's a point in this book where pretty much the entire town are possessed by a zombie kid, and it's freaking crazy. Yeah, so shout out Michael Schwartz. I really have been loving Armored this entire year. It's been one of my favorites. So if you haven't already, hop on the Armored train before we hop into this whole new adventure again with these whole new suits of armor. So yeah, it's great. Definitely go check it out. I love this book.
It's almost like Venom-ish, but like Power Rangers-y when you start getting the whole team together.
Honestly, that's a good way to describe it, like a kind of Power Rangers Venom, because you got that added addition of the ghost of the knight, who's kind of like always in, and like only Andy can see him, and he's also hilarious. So it's like it kind of flips the dynamic too. He's not like this scary, like, you know, monster guy. He's like, Andy, where art thou? We need to traineth. It's hilarious.
So he's got like the old English.
Yep. It's so good.
Okay, I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Armored. Go check it out. Go check out the first 5 issues. I assume a trade will be out.
Trade I think is coming soon. Yeah.
All right, there you go. You also got Flash Gordon, the quarterly. When was the last time you heard of a quarterly comic book, everyone?
Dave's doing big things, man. Doing what everyone else won't. Yeah, so I got a list here, and excuse me if I mispronounce any names. I'm terrible at that. But for art, we got Joe Mulvey, we got Stefan Simeon, and we got Igor Lima. And then for colorists, we have Fabi Marquise, Mark Englert, Adriano Augusto, and for letterers, we have Taylor Esposito, Buddy Beaden, and Adam Gorham. And
Boom.
again, I hope I said all of that correctly. But yeah, this issue was awesome. I am not a Flash Gordon. I know pretty much nothing about Flash Gordon. I think I saw the original movie when I was like a wee young lad. But this is just like space adventure fun. Like I mean, there's a lot of properties that we know that have been inspired by Flash Gordon, like Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. So you definitely get that sort of vibe in this. And this actually doesn't even feature the Flash Gordon. It follows this Prince Baron, who is the Prince of the Tree Men. I think that's what they're called. Again, I know nothing about Flash Gordon, but it's super fun. The dude fights this big like king of like these ape people, like kind of has this Planet of the Apes sort of element to it. And it's cool, man. It's cool, fun time. You got, again, like kind of space adventure, but they're on like this like jungle planet. So you get that kind of mix of like space, but also like Tarzan kind of. I don't know. It's good. It's fun, man.
There you go.
It made me want to pick up the other Flash Gordon. Like, oh, what's going on in this corner of the comic book world, right?
Love it. Yeah, I've never been in the Flash Gordon either. I don't know if I've ever watched anything Flash Gordon either. That's all I got. That's all I got.
It's a good song.
From the Ted movie.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I feel like that's both of ours deepest Flash Gordon. Oh boy, moving on before we get canceled. Vicarious number 3. TJ, did you get the opportunity to? You did not. That's absolutely
I didn't,
fine.
unfortunately.
So Vicarious number 3 from Ryan Parrott, Eleonora Carlini, the art, and colorist Mattia Iacano, Luca Mattione, and letter Becca Carey. We've been setting this up where we have had this character who goes by many different names who, as we've mentioned, this is a world where you can have a chip put into your head. Someone can live vicariously through you, whether it is through fun acts like climbing a mountain or, as you could probably imagine, some darker things that go under behind closed doors. This issue really gets things flying. This guy has gotten himself into some deep water because he's gotten into this organization where he is kind of like seen as like this little prized puppet, this little golden boy who will do anything, and they ship him off and throw him everywhere. But he's gotten into some deep water, man. And it got as bad as you could possibly imagine for it to. He's starting to lose his mind a little bit. He's maybe starting to see some people from his past. Maybe not. I'm not sure. And then there's people who are just straight up out to get him at this point because this whole operation is very illegal. The art here from Eleonora Carlini is great. I love the colors as well because it has that cyberpunk s. I know that term gets used over a lot, but it has like that shading, the very bright, vivid blues and yellows and greens that really contrast kind of like the darker world. It's very fun. It's just, this is, as we mentioned before with issue 3s, this issue 3 really pushes the plot forward up to like 100. You're flying through it. You're seeing some wild things on the page. If you like the type of stories where things can take a very dark turn and a very dark underbelly, this is for you.
I love it. I love this cover, by the way.
Yes.
The cover is the inside art similar to the
No,
cover?
this is a different artist on the cover.
But well, I read the first issue. I'm almost positive I read the first issue on this, so I need to catch up.
Yep. So go catch up on this. Go to your local comic shops. Pick these books up because they're pretty solid. I've been enjoying the first 3 issues so far. They've been a lot of fun. All right. Lilith Number 2, TJ
Finally.
is
Finally.
finally here. Did you get the chance to pick this up? Yeah, to read it. It is
Didn't,
fine.
no,
We
unfortunately. I
will.
didn't pick up anything this week.
Yeah, that's good. So finally, right? It a long time coming. There were some production delays, diamond delays. We're here. This is
We
from
made
Corin
it,
Howell.
people.
Yep, artist Corin Howell, writer Corin Howell, colorist Warnia K. Sahuida, and letterer Jim Campbell. Again, we're pushing the plot through here. I really like what Corin has done with Lilith as a character, like making her a character. As we mentioned previously, the last time we did issue 1, this is just kind of like a drawing that Corin was doing on socials, and then one day it was just like asked the editor, it was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if Lilith had her own comic book?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Let's
Boom.
do it.
And
I
here
love
we are.
stories like that.
So Lilith's just trying to get back into her home world, and things are kind of looking a little grim for her right now. There's this like she at the end of the first issue, she finds out that this kind of like ditzy girl has this book that is able to bring her back home, but unfortunately for Lilith, she can no longer speak her native hellish language, so she can't read the book. But this girl may be able to. So as she's trying to read this book while Lilith is off doing Lilith things, she's trying to like learn about it and study it, may have accidentally summoned some demon thing. Oopsies. While Lilith is out doing her own things, she discovers that there may be another one like her that is also banished to Earth. Double oopsie. So chaos has ensued. Lilith is off face to face with this demon man, and there's a demon monster thing running through the streets. Art in here, again, great. Great, fantastic artwork from Corin Howell. The colors from Warnia, very red. As you can imagine with this cover, it is very, very, very red. So anytime you don't have anything here that is red, it pops at you. And I think that is a very fun way to show contrast, and at least the storytellers. But yes, very red book.
Red's my favorite color, so I'm all in on that. And I mean, it sounds like it's chock full of demons too. So
Yes, chock full of demons, a little bit of spice, a little bit of like, demon ladies eating some guys on the street, because that's what Lilith does. She's hungry and she needs to be able to live. So it's fun. It's a fun book. I've been waiting for this second issue. It's finally here, and it lived up to my expectations. So go pick it up. Go pick it up at your local comic shop. And as we mentioned before, if you are waiting for the digital versions from Vault's digital releases, those should be out very, very, very soon. All right, TJ. That'll do it for this week's polls. Now, I actually want to shout out 2 books. I don't have them on the list as a full conversation, but New Gods is out this week. And
yes, I've been
and
so excited for that.
And if you want that book that is going to be the link between your All In initiative and the Absolute books, like the tie-in between the two, that's your book. So go check that out. Yes, that's your book. It's Ram V, perfect writer to take on New Gods. Very heavy out there ideas. Ram V, your guy for that. And also the last issue of Paranoid Gardens came out this week. Very good. I wish there was more issues. I think it had a lot to do in the final issue, and it got there, but it had to do a lot within a certain amount of pages. And I thought it'd be like bigger world-ending expectations, and it wasn't, which is also totally fine. But I kind of wish there was like maybe 1 or 2 more issues to let it go through. I still think the story, the message that that book was telling is great. And I thought Chris Weston's art, who we've interviewed here right on the channel, perfect for this book. And Gerard Way's writing, just very cool, very different, very onion layery, as we've been kind of putting out there. So anyway, those are like my 2 quick shout outs from this week. Here's next week. Now, we should be still having an episode out on Friday. Thankfully, thank you, comic distributors. These books are no longer out on Christmas Day. They are out on Boxing Day. Thank you. I'm sure comic shops all over the country are very thankful for that. What do we got next week? Absolute Wonder Woman number 3, Hello Darkness number 6, and for me, absolutely Ultimate Black Panther number 11 with the new Sorceress Supreme.
Yes.
TJ, what do you have? Keep an eye out for next week. That hopefully isn't a Venom War book.
No more Venom War. Jeez, no more Venom War. Please, no more Venom War. But I mean, we have pretty much the same thing. Absolute Wonder Woman number 3. I got Ultimate Black Panther, which I just read number 10, I think yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I love this series so much. And then I also have X-Men number 9, which I'm like a good 4 or 5 issues behind on. This is going to be the Jed McKay X-Men. But I really enjoy the series. I've said it before. I really like all the From the Ashes stuff. So that and Uncanny X-Men, I've really been loving. So yeah, those are surprisingly a light pull list this next week, which I am happy to see.
And I have a whole trade paperback on there that's just gonna kick me across the face, right in the wallet.
Can't do
That's
it.
fine.
Can't do the trades.
I've been collecting all the Nightwing volumes just because I gotta have it. Like I don't know about you, but for me, it's hard for me to go back and read single issues just because like we both probably have just like long boxes up the wazoo or short boxes up the wazoo. So when I want to go back and read something, I have all my trades behind me on the lower shelves. I have them all behind me. And that's how I go back and I read them because I'm not going to pick up the single issues. So when I have a book that I truly love, like Tom Taylor's Nightwing, I gotta have the trade for it because that's how I'm going to reread it.
I agree. And I also just like for like aesthetic reasons, I love just having it on my bookshelf. And like you said, just like, oh, I want to read Miracle Man. Boom, right there. I don't got to go diving in my. Honestly, I was thinking about that just now because I'm going to be writing something for Absolute Batman. And it's only 2 issues. And I was just like, damn, where did I put those? Like, I'm going to have to go digging for those now. And I just got them. So yeah, it's a real problem.
Serious question. How often do you do your I'm boxing them up days?
So I box every time I get my new books, but like I have a I have a specific short box.
Madman.
Well, I have a specific short box for new books that I like. Once I get them, I'll put them in there. But as far as like having them organized, good.
Oh, they aren't organized at all. See, mine are fully organized, so it's a whole production.
See, they were at one point, but and again, I have like newer boxes that are specifically like, yeah, I haven't organized these, but I still have my organized ones like handy. I just need to make it a day to put them in my organization that is set up. But yeah, that is a whole project in itself that I don't want to do. So yeah, that'll be a while. But I have my trusty little short box here that once that gets filled, I transfer it into the unorganized chaos, and then it just builds up, and I just won't think about it, and it'll be fine.
Yep. Oh, see, I think I do mine like maybe once every 2 months now, where I properly put them into mine are fully organized alphabetically.
Yeah. Same.
So for you, before we log off, here's a question. When you're putting away Absolute Batman, is it A for Absolute or B for Batman? And let me know in the comments if anyone made it this far. If you're putting that away alphabetically, is it A for Absolute or for B for Batman?
I would do B for Batman only because I do alphabetical, but more so it's Batman. So I would want Absolute Batman with my other Batmans. You know what I mean? Like I'm also kind of an OCD person as well. So even if it's a different title, if it's a Batman book or Superman, right? Like even if it wasn't titled Superman, I would put it with the Superman stuff just because that's where it goes, Damon. Then you're not going to convince me otherwise.
I literally go back and forth on that. If you go through my boxes, I have like some of like the Ultimate books. Like Ultimate X-Men is under X for X-Men, but then it's like Ultimate Spider-Man is under S for Spider-Man. I'm so inconsistent with it. I don't know
See,
why.
I was
And I
saying you
think that's
just said that
works.
that makes me go back and forth now too, because for me, I feel like I haven't organized, but when I do, I imagine I would probably put all my ultimate books in the same section. You know what I mean? So like, and
So
then
now
it's
you're
like,
like, maybe I'll put all my absolute books in the same
yeah.
section.
So now the whole system is just it's just
Mhm.
out the window.
But Amazing Spider-Man is under S for Spider-Man, not A for Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, yeah, those are definitely under
Okay.
Spider-Man for sure.
Okay. Let me know
Yeah.
in the comments if anyone made it this far. How do you organize your comics?
We should do a
Because
whole episode on that, honestly. I feel like it's something I feel like everyone does differently though. You know what I mean? Like how do
yeah,
you
it's
like
true.
how and when do you bag and board? How often do you put them in the box? Like do you just have them sprawled out? I feel like
Oh, if you
everyone has their own system.
so I said you're a madman for putting yours away every, but I didn't realize you kind of have like a system with that. You're not
Yeah,
like
I don't really
actually
like I said
organizing
put
it.
them away. I just don't like them out like on
People
the
call me
desk.
a
I don't
madman
like
for
that.
actually reading my books the week I get them. Which because I
I
understand
try, but it's hard.
it's hard. It is especially like right now, I'm picking up some books I probably wouldn't usually pick up, like New Gods, right? I would probably never have picked up. I've never read a New God book before. So when I dive into this is my first time
Really?
reading a
Dude, you
New
gotta
Gods book,
read the Jack Kirby Fourth
the
World stuff,
classic
man.
stuff,
Oh, it's so good. I mean, obviously it's like dated, it's old, but
very
it's so good,
heady,
man.
heady ideas.
Dude, it's great, man. Jack
Okay.
it's good, man. It's good.
All right.
It's good
All right.
stuff. I'd recommend.
Fun little post credit after a conversation this was. So, TJ, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at @the_Fat Thor. You can catch me all over Agents of Fandom, obviously here on the Comic Corner. You can also haven't released a video yet. Some things popped up, but we are working on it. You can also check me out over on my other channel, Sons of Mjolnir. That's Mjolnir like Thor's hammer. Pretty much a lot of the same similar stuff, news, reviews, interviews, more interviews than I'd say news, but yeah, we got a lot of really great interviews up there already, and we are planning on being more consistent with our release schedule. So definitely go check us out over there. The channel is not dead just yet. But yeah, Agents of Fandom, really can find me CBR as well. I'm doing a lot of lists. I just did Ghost Rider. I'm going to be doing Absolute Batman. So if you guys like our ramblings on that, stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a list on that as well.
Oh man, can't wait for you to do a list on the best what if stories.
Hey, it's coming, man. Now that you gave me the idea, I'll write up the pitch.
Write it up. What if Hawkeye had a slingshot?
What if Hawkeye never existed?
And that'll do it for this issue of the Comic Corner, as me and TJ will be hashing this off camera. Until next time, everybody. Ding ding.